Hi everyone, it's Raymond here today, and today I'm going to do a short video to share with you how can you calculate your real remaining cash amount in your portfolio. So this is very important, right? Especially recently with the virus going on, markets are dropping. It's very important to have an accurate sense of how much cash do we have actually in our Think or Swim account. So there is only two main figures that we need to pay attention to. So number one on your Think or Swim platform, right, is your net liquid figure shown here, right? So net liquid figure means simply if I liquidate everything today, that means if I stop trading, I close all my position, this is the amount I'm going to get back from Think or Swim. Yes, so this is like the biggest overall picture, the key figure, right? So and then the second one, right, is option buying power shown here. Option buying power is the Think or Swim. They will tell you how much remaining margin or cash balance you have, but somehow this balance that the Think or Swim calculate for you is not accurate. So today I'm going to share with you how can you calculate a clearer amount, okay, the most accurate amount, and why is it. And it's very important because sometimes this figure will be inflated. Your real cash balance should be lesser. So sometimes you see this figure, it might give you a false sense of like security. You might thought you have more cash than you actually have, and that could be a very dangerous thing. So I'm going to use the help of an Excel spreadsheet to help me with this video. So like I mentioned, right, there's two main figures that you need to, that is the most important, and only two figures actually. One is your net liquid amount. So let's say I just put the net liquid figure over here. I will just round it up, 126,000, right? And my option buying power right now is 30,000 or 30,466, something like that, right? So I'm not going down to the exact dollars and cents. I'm just sharing with you how can you calculate. But of course, when you're doing it, you want to have more details. Now, there's only three main types of positions. One, either you buy a call, your lead calls, etc. Number two, either you sell a put, your LROs, or you sell put for your positions, right? So, and then number three, you own the shares. Either you're assigned or you buy some individual shares on its own. So there's only three types of positions. So the option buying, so this, if you can see from here, right, if you take this divided by this, you will get the your rough cash percentage, right, as shown by the Think or Swim. But this figure might not be accurate. But if I were to do this calculation, I will get a figure of roughly, so let's get this divided by this, 24%. Yes, so Think or Swim tells you that your buying power, your cash balance is actually 24%, but this figure is not accurate. It's actually far lesser. So how do you count the real amount? Now, the option buying power already includes your buy cost, because buy cost, when you're buying or buying for that buying puts also, as long as you're buying, you pay the premium upfront, right? So it's already deducted from your net liquid amount. So once it's deducted already, you don't need extra margin for it. Does that make sense? So we do not need to include, so in our calculation, we do not need to include for buying of cost or any puts also. As long as buying, we do not need to care about it because it's already deducted from our Think or Swim, from net liquid figure. Okay. Now next is the sell put, right? So sell put, right, if you realize your Think or Swim only requires certain margin from it. So for example, so ideally before you even do this, you want to sort out your Think or Swim by the different types of positions. The shares that you own, your dip calls, you buy any calls, or your sell put. You want to sort them out. So let's say over here. So let me close everything. Let's say for sell put, right, I have some positions, right? So some of you guys might be able to see. So sometimes the buying power effect. So this is under buying power effect. It was shown here, right? How much buying power effect it requires. So I will go to the split position later in case some of you guys have, but most of you guys should be able to see this figure. Now, so let's say I did a sell put on KWeb, right? Can you see that they only required $1,600, but the real amount I should be budgeting out, right, is actually, I should take the strike price, which is 52 times 100 shares, right? So the real amount I should be putting out should be 5,200, but they are only deducting 1,600. So can you see disparity here? There's a difference here, right? So how can I calculate the real amount? I need to manually calculate, right? So since the broker the Think or Swim platform only reduce this amount instead of instead of 5,200, what I can do is I can add this amount back, the $1,697, back into the option buying power, and then I manually deduct the 5,200. Does that make sense? So for example, to do the calculation for KWeb, this is what I will do. I will, so sell is on margin, right? So I will need to, this figure, I will need to plus all the margin that the Thinkorswim budget out, which is, let's say in this case for KWeb is 1697, and then I manually calculate, and I then minus away, my strike price is 52, right? 52, and then times, let's say if I have one contract, it will be 100 shares, so 52 times 100, that will be 5,200. Does that make sense? So I need to plus this and minus this. So I need to do this for all my puts position, all my those that position that I have a sell put on. I need to do this manually. Okay, so if I do for everything, I should have a new figure, right? So this plus back the margin that the Thinkorswim deduct, because this figure is wrong. So I want to just give it back, and then I want to manually minus the full margin that I should allocate out. Does that make sense? So I will take this plus this minus this, and I should have a new figure here, right? So you can do this manually, or you can just use Excel to help you out. So for the sake of this demonstration, I will do this. So can you see the figure? Oh, this is negative. Okay, so let's say I just do this. Yeah, so can you see the, okay, so this is the figure, right? So this plus this minus this, I should get about 26,000, which is much less really, right? So my cash balance right now is actually, can you see it's much less? Yeah, so I need to divide by not this figure but the net liquid figure. Okay, so this is my real option buying power after doing the sell put. I need to take this divide by this. Now instead of 24%, it has dropped to 21%. So I need to do this not just for KWeb but for all the sell put positions. Now if you have some position that is split position, right, as shown here, right, that means you have so for example in this case I have one sell put on Facebook, but I might also have lead calls on Facebook, right? So how do they calculate? So you can click on the split position button, and you should see this power. This is all your Facebook position. So I just need to go to those that have a short position on, and I look at the margin here. See, can you see this is I buy a put, and over here is I sell. Sorry, I buy a call, and over here is I sell a put. So I'm buying a lead call over here, and over here my position is a short call. That means I sell a call, right? So for buying a lead calls, there's no extra buying power needed. Why? As I mentioned earlier, it's already deducted because you pay the premium upfront. So for the short position, this is the buying power that the Thinkorswim broker budget aside, but the real figure should be higher, right? So I need to again minus away, add this back to my buying power, and then I minus the full amount required, which is in Facebook case it should be 210 times 100 shares, so it's about 21,000. Yeah, there's a figure. So you need to do this exercise for all your sell put position. All right, now after you have done for your selling put, right, the next step is to do it for the stocks that you own. So sometimes, right, the broker, depending on your portfolio, sometimes the broker only require like 50% of the total value, or sometimes like in times where the market drops, the broker might require additional margin, so you might increase the margin from 50% to 70%. Okay, so sometimes it will fluctuate, but you can calculate manually to see how much are they using, how many percent are they using, and you need to add back the remaining amount. So for example, right, if I go to some of the stocks that I own, so let's say Amazon, I have 3 Amazon shares, and right now the current price, mark is the current price is 1,760, right? I have 3 shares. So but can you see the buying power is much lesser? So actually I think it's half. So I think this is a paper, I'm using a paper account to demonstrate. They are using 50% margin, but I think in your real account right now it should be 70%. Okay, so let's say I use 1760, I can use a calculator. 1760 times 3 shares, that is 5,280. So obviously this figure is half of it, it's only 50% of it. So I need to add back, I need to manually add back another 50%. But if of this figure they use up 70% of 5,000 to, okay, so let me do a calculation now for Amazon. So I have Amazon, right? I have 3 shares. Okay, and right now the current price is 1760. All right, so total value should be number of shares times the share price, yes, which is this amount. Now this just nice is 2640, just nice is half mark, correct? But I think so. If in this case, if it's half, you need to add back in another half lah, correct, to get your true margin. But in your real trading account, I think right now, because there's extra fear in the market, and so your think or swim actually increase the margin to 70%. Okay, so if you increase to 70%, then you should add back 30% of the share price. But for this video, I will just use whatever is the figure shown here, right? So by right, I should budget out $5,280 for my 3 shares of Amazon, correct? But the broker shown here, they only minus away $2,640, correct? Which means my buying power is not accurate because they only take half of it of the margin. And why the broker want to do that? Because they want you to trade more so they can make more commissions. But that is a risky thing to do. So right now, this whole exercise come back to the key point is I want to calculate what is my real cash balance. So I need to add back. So if they only take out 2640, I need to add back another 2640, right? It's half of it. So over here, I need to, so assuming this is 50%, I need to add back 2640. Or rather, I need to deduct from my option buying power, I need to deduct this 2640 because this is the margin that by right I should put aside for the stocks that I own. So my real option buying power after I do this deduction should be, I just take this figure, which is balance from the top. After the sell put calculation, I minus away this figure. I will have, can you see the figure will keep dropping from here to here, keep dropping, right? So you need to do this for all the shares that you own, and then you should have a figure, right? So this, after that, the figure, you just take the figure, that is the real cash balance, right? So after you have the final amount, okay, you have the final amount, you do the calculation, the final amount is your real cash balance, and you want to get a percentage, right? So you just take that figure, divided by right now your current net liquid. So you take this figure divided by your net liquid, and you should get a percentage. Okay, so you can just change this to percentage. Does that make sense? So this is how you derive your real cash balance. So everyone, after you watch this video, please do the calculation. Like take 5-10 minutes. You shouldn't be too long. You should just take 5-10 minutes to do the calculation. You can use the Excel spreadsheet to help you. I think that gives you clarity, or you can use a pen and paper also can. Any questions on this video, you can write in the comments below or just message me, okay? And after you got the final figure, you want to check in back in your portfolio management, right? Your template that you did up, and you want to see is the figure too high, too little, So this will give you a sense of, are you over trading, over like using too much margin, or are you using too little? Does that make sense? So this is like kind of like if you are driving a car on the road, you want to check is your speed too high or too fast or too slow. Okay, so having your real cash balance is very important. So you want to do this exercise like right now, because when the market keep moving up and down, sometimes you might not have a clear, accurate sense of your figure, and I think that could be a bit dangerous thing So you want to have your real cash balance. Okay, so any questions on the calculation, feel free to check in with me. So and always remember to invest safe. This is Wei Ming signing out.